Lore from Destiny 1 hints of an ancient non-human building on Venus with a strange machine inside. When a Guardian and Eliksni approached to claim it, they were murdered by a Guardian hunter. Renegades takes us to a new dungeon to stop evil forces and claim the Praxic Blade for ourselves. But are these stories connected? They do seem to involve some of the same story threads and ideals. Welcome, Guardians, let's take a look. This Ishtar gig is pretty wild, even for a lughead like me. Get it, Ace? Lughead? Come on, I'm trying. I'll get some better jokes, I promise. I knew I was here to secure some top secret thing in the jungle, but I saw it today. They dug up the remains of a technological civilization that actually predates humanity. Don't tell anyone I told you, or could be Wipesville again. So that was from the Journal of Cade 6, when he first became an Exo, went on all these mysterious adventures. What they found in the jungle there on Venus was likely confirmed to be the Vex. Destiny 1 audio told us that the Vex were on Venus long before humans. They existed before humans did.
Their mind cores are actually biological, not relative to any known life forms recorded. Maybe the Collective's research can tell us more. These ruins predate humanity by a few billion years. Vex are coursing through them.
But think about this, what if it wasn't talking about the Vex? Or what if there was something else here? There are Vex ruins clearly around the location, but the new dungeon shows us this. Pyramid-looking architecture in what we can assume is the jungles of Venus.
In the endgame, to get the best weapons, the best armor, the coolest exclusive cosmetics, you're gonna need to work with the syndicates to increase your notoriety by completing jobs successfully, alone or with a crew, and then doing so you'll unlock our highest risk, highest reward jobs, and at the same time you're gonna have the ability to do a special job that'll take you off planet to the dungeon.
The description of the new dungeon says this. Join forces with Anur Mahal in a new 3-player dungeon to hunt down the acolytes of Dredge and Bale, and face deadly defenses in an off-planet dungeon that will challenge even veteran fire teams. Complete the pursuit and forge your own Praxic Blade, a powerful weapon infused by both light and dark. So there's some sort of conflicting ideals here. Does off-planet mean like somewhere in space, a giant spaceship? Does it mean off-planet as in not on Mars, not on Earth, but some other planet? When they talk about the dungeon, they show us this environment with trees and sort of jungle vibes. But we've also seen shots of new characters aboard what looks like a ship, same with Guardians too. So let me know what you think before we dive into these theories. Is this Venus? Is it some other planet? It does kind of look very Savathun's Throne World-ish. But if this is Venus, boy do we have some speculation to dive into, so let's talk about it. We don't know how old the precursor species of the Witness was, the ones responsible for these ruins we've seen in different locations. We got glimpses of their homeworld in the Pale Heart and the Liminality Strike. But we can assume they were really old. They are the ones who found the Traveler on their homeworld. With its power, they went on to conquer planets and even systems, terraforming them, changing the weather to make them habitable, and really just forging things the way they saw fit. Did they visit the Sol system and Venus in those early days? Or maybe these pyramid structures were built sometime around the collapse when they would invade with disciples. Inside Ralk's pyramid ship, we saw what looked like distant darkness cities on the horizon. We don't have a clear answer, but Venus has many mysteries, linking back to the Vex, the Ahamkara, and today we're going to speculate on some more of them with some lore. Shayura, who we've talked about many times, for those that don't know, is a warlock who lost her light during the Red War. That specific moment traumatized her. She became super violent and would go out of her way to kill other guardians who used powers of darkness, like stasis. She was contained by the Vanguard, escaped, went through therapy of sorts, and is still currently out there. In the lore card for Shayura's Wrath, in the midst of all this trauma and Guardian killing back in the day, we see some type of connection to a location on Venus, to Dredgens, and to darkness. But here you are. This is truly a beginning. Shin Malphur. A powerless warsat drifts lifelessly through the void of space, traversing the brilliant yellow-green silhouette of Venus. From the dimly lit cockpit of an NS-66 cloud-errant jumpship in geosynchronous orbit, Venus looks like an unblinking eye staring up from the dark of space, and the warsat an unwelcome grain of sand within it. A ghost reduced to little more than a bare sphere of metal, deprived of a shell, hovers in the corner of the cockpit, watching the warsat track its path across lonely Venus. There are no sanctioned Vanguard operations on Venus at present, the ghost clarifies, pivoting its cold blue eye up to its guardian. Why do you think he's down there? The warlock Shayura reclines against her seat, the old leather creaking. Her attention is not on her ghost, but rather the human skull sitting in the middle of her command console. Its hollow eye sockets stare back at her. It hardly matters why he's here. Shayura indicates listlessly as she examines the skull's cheekbones. Her fingers graze the microfractures, an artifact of shotgun pellet impact. All that matters is we find him. Shayura's ghost looks away from her and focuses on Venus's soft glow in the dark. When will you be returning to Earth? He asks. Shayura doesn't vocalize a response, but instead blinks and reorients her glowing-eyed stare on the ghost. It beeps softly, reconsidering the question. Will you? The ghost still wonders. No, Shayura answers flatly. There is nothing to go back to. Everyone has either abandoned me or betrayed me. All I have left is the Traveler, and I do not need to be in the city to feel the light. As she says that, Shayura lifts her hand and calls up a rolling curtain of flame from her palm. Praxic fire guides me, Shayura says with the blaze reflecting in her eyes. You see, still protected, valuable. Hurrying up a shallow set of rubble-strewn steps, a short Eliksni bearing the crest of the House of Light pauses, gazing back at the chrome-armored Guardian moving up the steps behind him. The Eliksni looks the Guardian up and down, then motions to the stark silhouette of a gray concrete block building rising up from the Venetian overgrowth. This ain't the Academy proper, the Guardian says on ascent, watching the hazy sky for signs of danger. Moisture clings in glistening beads to his reflective mask. His dark hood shields him from the rest of the elements. The hell was this place? The Eliksni tilts his head to the side, four eyes blinking independently from one another. Not human. Don't know, but machine inside. Why aren't your people bringing it back? Don't you folks get promotions for finding good salvage or something? The Guardian asks, gesturing to the crumbling building. The Eliksni once again tilts his head, expression opaque. You listen to the spider's sneak words too eagerly. Come, we have a long walk to... The Eliksni's words are cut off. garbled in a wet scream as he is perforated by a barrage of submachine gun fire. The Guardian turns, cloak swirling behind him and hand cannon at the ready. But it isn't Vex or Fallen descending from the high cliffs. It's a Guardian in black and gold armor gliding down to the ground, smoke issuing from the muzzle of her SMG. Shayura's boots lightly touch the leaf-strewn plaza, her eyeless mask fixed on the chrome-clad hunter. He wasn't a combatant, the hunter shouts. Shayura slowly approaches the Guardian. Did you find him within the hem of Aramis's skirt? Or did you swear yourself to the darkness after her passing? The hunter backs away, up the stairs, hand cannon trained on Shayura. He recognizes her armor for what it is, a reward of the trials. I know you, his voice quavers. You shouldn't be here. When did the Vanguard let you out? They didn't. I let myself out since they were too busy opening the gates for our enemies. Shayura indicates, motioning with the barrel of her SMG to the dead Eliksni. But you know why I'm here. I know you're a few rounds short of a full clip, the Guardian quips back, making a flippant gesture with his hand cannon. In that moment of distraction, Shayura shoots him 6 times in 2 short bursts. The Guardian collapses, his gun tumbling down the steps. A moment later, his ghost materializes, shell flared in anger. What are you doing? Shayura moves like a lightning bolt, materializing beside the ghost with an upward flourish of a sword of raw Praxic fire. The ghost looses a howling scream of horror as he shatters into a flurry of glittering pieces. Crumpled on the stairs, the hunter coughs, his throat damp with blood. Shayura pulls her attention away from the shattered ghost, training her SMG down at her quarry. Traitor, she says in a shaky, gasping breath fueled by adrenaline. The hunter laughs, gagging on his own blood as he does. You're no better than a Dredgen, he says in pain. Then, even quieter. Or Malphur. I killed an agent of darkness, Shayura says, and the hunter has no rebuttal this time. He is still. Bile rises in the back of Shayura's throat. They come in many forms. So this Eliksni of House Light and a Guardian were on Venus. They found a mysterious gray building described as a concrete block that was overgrown and non-human in origin. It had some type of machine inside and it was said to be crumbling. Then Shayura shows up and kills both of them, the Eliksni and the Guardian. We know she hunted those who are obsessed or used darkness. So that makes me wonder if it was just this Guardian who you say maybe used stasis, followed the ways of Aramis as she mentioned, or if this building had some type of connection to darkness overall, what was inside of it. It's also intriguing that they note it wasn't a building of human design, and it sounds quite different from the Vex, otherwise I feel like they would just straight up mention it. So what was it? Was it this pyramid-like architecture from the new dungeon, or was it just some random building? A character like Shayura would fit perfectly in Renegades if you ask me. Although she's sort of recovered from her past ways of hunting Guardians like the one in that card, she has experience with hunting down traitors of the light, much like it seems we're going to do with this new evil Dredgen. And to go a step further, Shayura is also a part of the Praxic Order, who will be working alongside. We don't know who this character is yet. Bungie mentioned we're going to be working with Anur in the new dungeon, but it would be pretty cool if we got to see characters like Shayura or even Shin Malphur. So what was inside that building? Maybe it was an artifact of darkness, maybe something Vex related. We do know that in the new dungeon, this is where we are going to find the Praxic Blade. The thing is said to be interchangeable with different customizable parts according to Bungie. But the interesting thing to me is its origin. How does something like the Praxic Blade come to exist in the Destiny universe? Was it hidden away in ancient ruins all of this time, or did it just sort of pop into existence? Maybe powers of the 9 granted characters like this new Dredgen the ability to craft something like this. I could totally see some story about some ancient Praxic member who went to some temple like a Jedi temple and built this type of technology, but I guess we'll have to see. But this is all we know so far in regards to that dungeon. The Bungie said it's off-world. We're working with Anur to take down those acolytes. Is this lore connected at all? It may not be. It was from releases of the past. But I still feel like the story was fun to talk about because it involves some of the same story threads we're going to be introduced to again in December. But if you'd like to see some more Destiny news, lore, and mysteries just like this video, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video.